Remember, your website is not supposed to be all about you and every wonderful thing you've ever done. You want your website and all your marketing materials to be a mirror that potential clients can look at and see themselves and say, that's me. That can help me. Welcome to Do It With Intention, the podcast for massage and bodywork therapists. I'm your host, Mindy Totten, a mentor and coach for bodyworkers who want to turn their passion for the work they do into successful businesses that they love, all without burning out or selling out. For the last 16 plus years, I've created a successful 6-figure craniosacral therapy practice in a small city in coastal North Carolina. Over those years, I have met so many skilled, big-hearted therapists who were struggling to make their bodywork businesses work for them. Not because they weren't terrific therapists, but because they didn't know how to make the business side of their practices work. It became my mission to help other massage and bodywork therapists build practices that support not only your soul, but also your bottom line. On the Do It With Intention podcast, we dive deep into what it takes to build and to sustain a profitable massage or bodywork business. We have honest conversations about what really works and what doesn't as you create the ideal practice for you. After all, you do great work in the world and you deserve to make a great living doing it. But you've got to be intentional about it, not only in your modality, but in your business too. That's how bodyworkers do it with intention. Hey there. Welcome back to the Do It With Intention podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Totten. And today we are continuing our series on quick, easy, simple, clear websites. As we said last week, it is important, if you can swing it, to have a website outside of social media so that people can find you. It's a really foundational piece of your business. And it's something that I know when I was first starting out, I tended to overcomplicate. And I see that a lot with bodyworkers. We think it has to be all these things to all of these people. And it really can be just a clear, concise one-page website if you'd like it to be. So last week we spoke about the services page. And this week I want to talk to you about a couple of ideas for your about page. I see a ton of bodyworkers getting this wrong. So at first glance, it seems like your about page should be about you, right? Like about Mindy, right? So it should be about me. Well, yes. And there's more to it than that. If at all possible, you want your about page to be about you, of course, and also to reflect the type of people who you want to work with. So your about page, you don't want to start with, the day you were born and then you went to preschool and then you went to here and there. It doesn't have to go on and on and on like my first one did, just rambled on and on and on. But you want to write a couple of paragraphs to let potential clients know a little bit about you and the kind of person you are. And as I said, if it can reflect your ideal clients as well, then that's even better. For example, if you are if you got into body work after, let's say that you have a story where you were married, you have a couple of kids, and then something happened in your life and you became a single mom and you realized how difficult it is for single moms. And you decided you wanted to go back to school, to massage school, become a massage therapist and specialize with working with single moms. That is right on. Like that is telling not only a little bit about you, but about the kind of person who you want to work with. So that would be a great piece to put into your about page. What is not a good idea for your about page is just to write everything about you. I did this, and then 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 I did this. It just gets frankly boring. And I know that because of my old websites, they were just like, oh, snoozer. Because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, is just write about myself. Write about key pieces of your experience that will also reflect and resonate with your ideal clients, with your ideal audience. The last thing I want to talk about with your about page, well, two more things actually. I see a lot of about pages without photos. Try to put at least one photo of yourself on your about page. And ideally, that photo is you looking into the camera so that the person who's reading about you can look at you and look into your eyes and see if there is a resonant energy there. Too often, I see photos of like a body worker with his or her entire family, which is a lovely another photo to add, but you need to have something where someone can look at you, look in your eyes and sense a resonance or not, right? And, frankly, the majority of the population doesn't go, let me go to the about page and see if my energy resonates with this massage therapist or whatever, right? But it's a non-conscious process that does go on. So see if you can find a picture of you looking directly into the camera that you don't hate. Remember, it doesn't have to be professionally done. You don't need to get headshots, anything like that. My first websites, most of my websites, my main picture was my husband took, like in our backyard or something like that. He had to take like 75 shots to get one that I was like, okay, I don't hate that one. Let's put that one up. Because of course it's embarrassing to have to look at your own pictures. Oh, Lordy. But find one that you don't hate, that you feel like it represents you, that it's a good representation of you, and put that on your about page. All right. The last thing for your about page is the big mistake that so many people make. Please, please, please do not list every single class you've ever taken. We've all seen those websites. My website was one of those back in the day because I thought it was important to let people know that not only have I taken craniosacral therapy classes, I've also taken visceral manipulation classes, right? The vast majority of people do not care. The only people who might care are other body workers. Oh, that's interesting. She has some, lymph drainage experience or whatever. You don't need to list every course you've ever taken. If you are certified in a particular modality, please, by all means, mention that, because that's a huge achievement and accomplishment. And that can let people know who might be looking for that sort of thing that you are indeed certified in whatever, upledger craniosacral therapy, whatever it is. So a certification, something like that, is quite different than every single class you've ever taken. Always go back to narrowing your focus to fill your practice. So ideally, you have got one, maybe two modalities that you're focusing on. And those are the modalities, if you want to list, certifications or advanced training, do it in the modalities that you're focusing on. And again, let's say, like for me, I only practice craniosacral therapy. I'm not going to write in, the advanced classes I've done, the advanced classes I've TA'd, presenting like the 1 and 2 day classes. I'm not putting all of that in there because that's all about me. And again, even though it's your about page, you want that page to really resonate with your ideal clients. In a pickle, if you really want to list everything, you can have a hyperlink there that says something like, to learn more about the trainings I've completed, click here or something. And then you can list everything that you've ever done. But what ends up happening when you just list that on the about page, frankly, is people don't read it. They just they go through and they're like, yeah, and then they go off to something else. You really want to capture their interest, and you really want to be able to resonate with someone on your about page. Now, the caveat is, of course, if you are required to put certain things on your advertising, then you need to do that on the about page as well. So if you're required to put your state license number or, how long you've been licensed or whatever that is in your advertising, then of course you'll put that on your about page there. Okay. That is it for this week. A couple of things for you to think about with your about page when you are creating this very simple website. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about websites. So until then, I want you to think about your about page, think about how you want to connect with your clients, and I want you to have a fantastic week doing it with intention. Thanks for coming on this journey with me today. I know what it takes to find time to fit something like a podcast into your busy day, and I so appreciate that you tuned in and listened all the way to the end. We've got all the links from today's episode in the show notes that you can find over at mindytotten.com/podcast. That's Mindy Totten, TOTTEN.com/podcast. If you really enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love for you to take a quick moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And make sure that you subscribe so that you can download each episode as soon as it comes out. That'll help us get this podcast in front of more massage and body workers like you so that we can all work together to make the world a touch kinder. Okay, that's it for today. It's my pleasure and my privilege to be with you on this journey. I'll see you next week, same place, same time. Until then, get out there and do it with intention.